County, Gilbert, and Gilbert, Arizona. Gilbert, Arizona. It is a 3A matchup tonight. We have Sholo up from all the way Navajo County. The farm community on Route 77. And boy, I'll tell you, they know a lot about state champions in Snowflake. And their opponent, a rematch tonight, will be Ben Franklin High School. On Germain Road in Queen Creek. We're on a neutral site, though. We are at the high school, Williams Field High School. Well, it is a beautiful evening for football sports fans.
Jimmy, this is the Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on italk1067.com. Beautiful night, beautiful backdrop. Playoff football, November in Arizona. It doesn't get much better than this, Jimmy.
It certainly does not. I mean, we've got shirt-sleeve weather, probably 70 degrees at kickoff. The officials for tonight's ball game, as they are at midfield, about ready to go to the coin toss. The referees, all AIA people, of course. Referee Kevin Grell. His umpire will be Gary Wilson. The head linesman, Bill Furnow, a U.S. Navy veteran of the Vietnam era. Line judges, Brian Bombaderi. The back judge is Tyler Nelson. The field judge will be Neil Yazzie. And the side judge, another veteran, Alex Herrera of the U.S. Marines, an engineering ordnance experienced gentleman that I spoke to before the game, and he was thrilled as the devil to be here tonight. So are we.
Absolutely. As we move on, we'll be talking about our injuries throughout the game and our Summit Healthcare Medical Center injury report. Summit Healthcare Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. Now, Jimmy, we're going to move to the Ace Hardware keys of the game. Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware, your helpful place with 3 locations: Pinetop, Overguard, and Sholo.
Guys, the kind of guys I got to, I've stopped up and see the station. I'm going to probably keep their number in my phone because I'm really good at locking myself out of everything. Cars, houses, you name it.
That's good. So we're going down to the coin toss, Jimmy. What are the keys of the game for the Ben Franklin Chargers as we go through the night?
Well, Ben Franklin, they run an I formation offense, and they like to run the football and run it a lot. Both these football teams like to mirror one another as far as ground and pound. You're going to see a couple guys in the backfield tonight for Franklin. And as soon as I figure out where my roster is, I'll be glad to tell you. They're led by the quarterback, Danner Bowen, and he'll have A.J. Warby, a senior, 5'10", 175, and Zach Jeffries, another senior, 6', 180.
Well, Snowflake elects to get the ball first tonight, Jimmy, as we start out our game. Now, what are the keys, the Ace Hardware keys of the game for the Snowflake Lobos tonight?
Well, again, I said this is really an offensive ground attack on both sides of the football. We're going to see, of course, Ethan Ramage, the quarterback. He'll have Taylor Flake, one of his running backs, and, of course, the other guy that does all the work here, Brig Turley. And I even spoke with his parents before the game. He said he was just so thrilled to be down here in the Valley of the Sun and a chance for him to try to get his football club to one step further towards the state championship, as this is, of course, the semifinal.
You know, joining Taryn in that backfield, too, is the junior number 30, Taryn Green. And Taryn and that offensive line has sure done a heck of a job to get Turley those yards. He's got a lot of them on his own, but he sure has to have that offensive line to push those yards down the field and do what he's done for the Lobos this year.
You know, it's kind of a rematch, Aaron. These two ball clubs met each other on week 2. Back in August, on August 30th, and Ben Franklin came away with a 43-21 win.
That game was 102 degrees kickoff, and it was probably 75 in Snowflake at that time.
I'm telling you, what
it's going to be
difference.
Totally different story tonight. Totally different story.
Andrew Tesher set to kick off, and Turley back the deep setback at his own end zone. It'll bounce and go out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. And, of course, that elicits a flag from the official.
I always wonder, Jimmy, at the start of games, if teams do that, they're just trying to kick it and say, okay, we're not even going to let you have a chance to run that back. I'm not quite sure, because it almost looked like he kind of intentionally tried to punch it down that line, and the Lobos are going to get the ball some great field position.
Yeah, I kind of wonder that too, and it kind of, it makes you wonder if they're worried about a long return, and they still give up field position at the 35-yard line. So that's where the Lobos will be 1st and 10 right now. Ramage brings them up to the line, a tandem backfield. Turley on his right side. And it's going to go to Turley. No, instead he fakes it and throws out in the flat. He's got a receiver.
Nothing better than coming out in play action the first play of the game and saying Ben
Yeah.
Franklin looked like they were selling out to stop Turley. Fake to Turley, faked us out up here. He didn't even have the chance, and he hit McVicker. McVicker with a long gain, put it into Charger territory, and that gives us a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
A pickup of 25 yards on the reception. Nothing fancy, but they faked to Turley. He went out the right side to the far side of the field and then rolled out and threw to him, to Tischer in the flat, and a nice grab there for the first down and a nice 25-yard gain. Ball at the 40-yard line in Ben Franklin territory already.
That's Taryn Green.
Taryn Green, the ball carrier, and he goes off the near side. And I believe that was Tanner Willis of the Chargers, the first defender to the ball carrier on the stop.
Jimmy, Ben Franklin's going to have to feel really good about making that stop and forcing a now 2nd and long. But I'm going to tell you, Taryn Green's going to get his yards tonight. They're going to key so heavily on Turley that Green is going to have to come through real big here for the Lobos.
Well, I like the way they've come out quickly here and already got themselves in Charger territory. The handoff goes to Turley on the right side. He'll get tripped up at the line of scrimmage and fall forward. A gain of maybe 2 on the carry. A.J. Warby on the stop, and we'll hear a lot about him. There's a number of players on this Ben Franklin Charger ball club that go both ways.
A lot of bodies dressed out down there, too. You got to think that they're all contributing, even if it's in practice, against this physical team that they have here.
2 receivers set to the far side of the field for Snowflake. Back to throw. Ramage has got a man center of the field. And I believe that was Green again, was it not? I'm sorry, McVickers. I'm missing my other page of my roster. It seems to have taken a powder.
This is definitely not a field goal opportunity for the Lobos. It's 4-down territory. I look for something real heavy in the pass game, kind of a short hook and curl to one of these backs that one of these receivers. Something else too, Jimmy, is we do have the benefit of play clocks down here, so neither team's going to be able to sneak off that 40-second clock, and the Lobos look like they're trying to push and hurry here.
Ball at the 34-yard line. They need to get 4 yards here. Ramage looking to throw. He's got a man in the flat. Incomplete.
That was intended for the tight end McVicker, the big junior. McVicker been a very critical key for the Lobos this year. A young man that's come out. He just came up a little bit short there. I'm not going to sway the broadcast here, but I'm going to say I thought there might have been some hands on McVicker there, Jimmy.
I agree with you, Aaron. I agree with you. It looked like some contact, but there were no flags thrown.
But you know what? This crew is the crews don't get these semifinal games unless they're on top of their ball and know what they're doing. So I'm going to trust the officials on that one, and brings us up a 1st and 10 for the Chargers. That brings us up a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Ben Franklin's first opportunity with the football tonight comes with 9:49 of this initial quarter of play.
Double tight, double wing.
You got it. You got movement on the sideline. Yeah, I think that was on Snowflake's defensive front.
That looked like I don't want to call the young man out. One of the Snowflake defensive linemen got a little too happy there, jumped across that line. It just cost the Lobos 5 yards, but guess what? He's going to regroup and he's going to come back even stronger next play. If I look at sheer numbers, Jimmy, and I go, it looks like this Lobo line is much bigger than these Ben Franklin Chargers on as far as the boys up front.
I agree with you. There's a lot of farm-fed country boys out here from Sholo tonight. Jeffries with the ball on the handoff, and he gets up close to the 40-yard line of his forward progress. I think is going to be right at the 40. It'll be a pickup of maybe 2.
Big Taryn Green in there. That looked like a good hit. Taryn Green meet the Ben Franklin Chargers. Should I say Chargers meet Taryn Green.
There you go.
Jimmy, I got 2nd and 3. What are you hearing? Or what are you seeing?
2nd down and 3 as a result of that offside penalty. And one receiver to the near side of the field. In this formation, I think they're going to run it. They hand it off on pitch to the left side, and nothing doing. Warby gets the carry, and he doesn't get back barely to the line of scrimmage.
You know, they gave him a gain of 1.5 on that. It's going to bring up 3rd and short, and we're going to have to go again how critical that jumping off sides, or encroachment was on the defense here. As we have a 3rd and inches, looks like the officials are blowing it dead, and I think we're going to have our first measurement of the game.
I guess I was a little bit off on my estimation. They gave him a good spot, and they gave him the first down.
Well, the bonus of being on these synthetic turf fields is that these lines are pretty straight. Not as good as the lines we saw in Snowflake last week. Whoever paints those does a heck of a job and lines those things up, but the turf comes pretty close.
Ryan Graham, the wideout, again to the far side of the field, a single offensive threat here of the passing game for the Chargers. It's a single setback with that I formation again for the Chargers. The handoff's going to come to the near side. Jeffries gets the carry. And Green looks like the first man to the ball carrier, wraps him up in the backfield. I think there'll be a loss of a yard.
Ben Franklin's going to have to come up with something else to get back to get those yards. Taryn Green is just going to be all over that field tonight. You know, another thing, too, I noticed is the Lobos typically play a 4-man front, and it looks like tonight they have decided to come out with a 5-man front. And something that the Chargers have not adjusted to, and I actually think this is going to be extremely effective going through the quarter here. The Lobos are going to hold these Chargers in check.
Jansen Loving comes in from the sideline with a play. Again, the wideout, the sole wideout is Ryan Graham. And they're going to keep it straight ahead. There's some room with the running of the quarterback there. And Ryan Graham takes it into first down territory and into Snowflake territory across midfield and out to about the 46-yard line.
That brings us up to a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. Welcome Chapman in on the stop for the Lobos, the senior transfer, number 24. Been a absolute great job for the Lobos this year. Come in and done some great things. Been a huge key for this football team.
One receiver flanked to the far side of the field. Again, that's Loving. And the handoff goes to Loving, and he fights his way across the line of scrimmage and out, or I should say down inside to about the 44-yard line.
Jeffries, I believe. I didn't actually see which Lobo came in on the stop there, but safe to say it looked like one of those big front linemen. There's not a lot of push by the Ben Franklin Chargers on this Lobo defensive line, especially this 5-on-5, which is allowing Taryn Green, the linebacker, to come up and make those stops.
You're right, Aaron. There's a lot of size and a lot of strength and agility on this Sholo ball club. And
Snowflake.
Just
not Sholo. Snowflake. I'm gonna get
You'll have to hit me over the head.
No,
with
I
that.
will definitely hit you over the head.
The pitch goes to the far side. The ball carrier is Bateman, and Bateman's got some room on the far side. 20, 15, and he's ridden out of bounds, but not before a huge gain. Pickup of only over 20 yards on that.
Looks like he was forced out on the far side. That gives us a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down for the Chargers.
A pickup of 25 yards on the carry. Did we have Bateman on that, didn't we?
We believe up here it was number 5, Warby, was on the
Warby.
Carry.
He's been big here in this first quarter of football.
He is, and the Lobos are going to dial up something to stop here. Looks like they're sitting back in this 50 front.
Graham to the near side. They're going to run it that way. No, they cross, and a little second effort there by the running back and down inside the 10-yard line, and a touchdown-saving tackle in the secondary for the Lobos.
You know, it's such on the far.
Jimmy, you need to move your mic to the corner of your mouth. You're blowing over the top of your mic.
Looks like Welcome was in on the tackle. For those of you listening, because we have a lot of listeners tonight, we're going from left to right. So that tackle was made on the far side, on the far, close to the far pylon. I got the ball on about the 7-yard line with first and goal for the Chargers. And that's a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
You're right. Pitch comes to the right side. Stain cuts it straight up. Jeffries with the ball. and down very close to the 5-yard line with his progress.
First time we'll call his name. That was number 60, Jordan Patton, coming from his defensive end spot to make that tackle. Jordan Patton, one of the seniors on this team, one of the maybe not having the C on his chest as the captain, but doing a great job on leading this group of linemen here. Patton's been a phenomenal player the last couple of years for the Lobos, and good job there on getting in and, putting Ben Franklin a little bit against the wall here with second and goal on the 5.
Yes. Actually, I think they spotted just outside the 5.
You're right, Jimmy.
6-yard line. Again, that double tight end set. The handoff's going to go on the near side, and the ball carrier, Jeffries.
I think Coy Schwartz. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I think Coy Schwartz was in there first on the tackle. I also think Turley was in there, but let's just call it a pack of Lobos.
There you go.
The tackle.
I agree with that.
And that's the one thing that they're going to do and remain constant. One thing that I'm curious to see, Jimmy, is we have the ball. We actually give them a loss on the play. My guess is we're going to see 4-down territory out of the Chargers way into this first quarter.
No doubt. We're down to 4:50 of this initial quarter of play. And the keeper, quarterback, Banner looking for, he fights inside the 5-yard line and down near the 4.
Jordan Patton again, reading that quarterback, coming up easy. Looks like Big Bradley Ruiz for the Lobos, slow to get up there, but gets back to his spot. That's going to bring up a huge decision for the Chargers at this point. With 4:24 to go, it is 0-0 here at Williams Field High School.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely try to punch this in, and I don't think we're going to see any kicking at this point. 4th and goal at the 3-yard line.
Jimmy, I agree. It pins the Lobos deep. The thing we got to watch here is Ben Franklin's play clock is running way down. I'm afraid that they are going to have to use a timeout here.
I think they're going to get it in. 4-3, they're going to snap it. 2, there it is. And it's a keeper, and the quarterback takes it into the end zone off the guard spot. Tanner Bowen, the quarterback.
That was simply the quarterback showed his back, pivoted around and found that hole, and kind of fell over for that touchdown.
So Bowen, 10 plays, and I think you want to call it about a 65-yard. That's not official, of course.
67 is what we have in our
67-yard drive. Bowen's kick is up, and it is good.
Now, there was a little bit of the fumble of the snap there, but here we go. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 1067.com.
3:56 of the initial quarter of play.
You guys are clear?
Oh. I'm disappointed.
Jimmy, you're still popping your peas across the microphone. You got to move it away from put it in the corner of your mouth.
Okay.
Move it away from your mouth just a little bit so you're not blowing across the mic.
Okay.
How's that, Camden?
Is that better, Cam?
Camden?
I think he went away for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, here comes your audio. You guys are live.
Welcome back to Williams Field High School.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of White Mountain Football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 106.7.com.
A end-over-end low wobbler fielded at the 15-yard line by Green. And he'll cut it up the center of the field, spin off a tackle, second effort across the 30 and up near the 33-yard line. That's where the Lobos will have 1st and 10.
Credit Taryn for losing a couple yards and going back and finding his blockers and putting his team in pretty good field position to start this drive. With 3:48 left in the first quarter, Ben Franklin leads the Lobos 7-0. 3:48 left on the clock in the first quarter, and we've had some hard-hitting, pretty smash-mouth football here to start with two heavy running teams.
You look at these guys up front, Aaron, and it looks like they're junior college football players. I mean, these boys are big and they are strong.
I think they're pretty physical, too.
That's no doubt about it. Tandem backfield behind Ramage. Turley gets the call, and he gets dropped in the backfield. There'll be a loss on the play of at least a yard.
You know, they're going to have to decoy with Turley like they did earlier and got that pass down the middle to McVicker, and I look for something here to keep this drive alive. I look for either a fake to Turley and a give to Green, or something out here to Cantrell, or possibly across the middle to McVicker. Cantrell, the sophomore, here is wide out to our side.
A.J. Warby is all over the place defensively for Ben Franklin. He made the stop on that last play to corral the ball carrier. Again, it goes, the fake to Turley, and they go down the field. Intended receiver is McVicker on the far side, but the ball is thrown a little outside of his reach.
The target, McVicker, there fought a little bit to get open, and that puts the Lobos a little bit behind the sticks with double sticks on a 3rd and 11. But credit them for using Turley as the decoy. I think we're going to end up seeing a little bit of Green here, moving down and trying to get something here. But there's not a lot of 3rd and 11 plays in the playbook, is there, Jimmy?
We're going to have to see what coach throws up on this one. But they need a first down here. Otherwise, they will have to kick the ball away. Ramage from the shotgun. Turley, the single setback. He fakes the throw. It goes to Turley. He's got some room. 25, 30, 35, and Green gets it out close to the 45-yard line, and a big first down for Sholo.
Green did a great job. They needed 11. He got 12, moves the sticks.
For Snowflake.
Yes, 10-4 on that. A big, big first down for the Lobos. 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line. Ramage from the I formation. Turley straight up the gut. Green again, I'm sorry. And Green maybe a yard or 2 at best.
Green doing a great job of salvaging that hole closing right there. Looks like it's that McAfee for the Chargers in on the tackle, number 21. I believe
corner spot.
Coming from his linebacker spot. This 5-man front sure allowing these Charger linebackers to come up and make that stop. Play clock ticking down here.
We're at 2:21 of the first quarter of play here on a gorgeous night for football in the Valley of the Sun. Precisely Gilbert, Arizona. And we'll go to Turley on the right side. He's got some running room. He'll run off a tackle, shake off a tackle in the blocker, and he finds his way up crosses into Ben Franklin territory at about the 48-yard line.
That was Badger in on the stop for the Ben Franklin Chargers. Turley doing exactly what needs to be done there. Getting those yards, the Lobos in 4-down territory, getting the positive yards needed to put them in a position to keep the drive going.
3rd down and 4 for the Lobo offense. Tandem backfield. Ramage again from the gun. Back to throw from his own 45. He's got a receiver, Turley. Turley's got the football across the 40, or I should say the 45 and down close to the 40-yard line. That's another first down for Snowflake.
First down for Turley. Great job utilizing that back out of the backfield. Sometimes when those backs come out of the backfield, they're very hard to cover. You either got to come up with an outside backer or a defensive end to be able to make that play.
A nice pass play from Ramage to Turley.
That brings us a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Ball at the 41-yard line of Ben Franklin. The handoff again, this time Green. He's got a blocker, and he'll cut it to the near side and be ridden out of bounds, but not before he picks up a good chunk of real estate.
I'm saying they're giving Green a gain of 7 on that play. Great job. Keep the drive alive. Keep not moving the sticks here, but getting it behind. Getting that 4-yard pop was what the Lobos are going to need to keep in this one.
Yeah, they're starting to win the battle at the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely. We're also just went under a minute here in the first quarter with the Lobos down 7-0, but driving. This is the 8th play of the drive they have coming up, so it looks like we might have punch for punch here coming up.
2nd and a long 2 for the Lobo offense. Ramage back to throw. He's got a man over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver.
I think that was Caleb Lyman, number 2, was the intended receiver, and I'm not sure if there was a hand coming from the defender through to pop that ball out. Otherwise, it looked like it hit him a little bit behind and was able to not get what he needed to bring that down. We're still in 4-down territory. I've got 3rd and 3.
At the 33-yard line of Ben Franklin. Again, Ramage looking to the sideline. Back to the I formation. 3 receivers, trips to the far side. Ramage the handoff straight ahead to Green, and Green's got the first down.
Green needed 3, got 4. The officials are going to stop the clock, which signals that we have ourselves a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
32 seconds left in this first quarter of football. A 7-0 lead for Ben Franklin, but the Lobos are threatening.
I think the Lobos are going to have to. Well, they're going to wait for the time to run down.
I think they're going to let this run out.
And,
that was the last play of the quarter.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 1067.com.
You guys are clear.
Sorry, Cam.
And at the end of the first quarter.
Sorry about that.
So that's okay, Jimmy. Just keep moving that microphone more to your left of to the side of your mouth, so you're not blowing across that mic.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'm just not.
Camden, do you want me to turn on the FX mic, or are we getting too much?
Here comes your return audio.
I'm a lot better than this. I can't.
And you guys are live.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 106.7.com. As we flip the field, Jim, and we go into the start of the second quarter.
We're about to begin the second quarter of football here. You know, Aaron, I had a really nice conversation with, of all people, the bus drivers of the two schools. I don't have last names, but Bill from Snowflake, and I'm sure everybody knows Bill. He's been around a long time. He's a carrier flight deck veteran of the U.S. Navy. He served 61 to 63. And then John is the other side of the football. He was a machinist first class in the U.S. Navy as well, 72 to 80. I thought it was very interesting. Two veterans, both Navy veterans, as bus drivers for both respective schools. 1st and 10 for Snowflake. At the 30-yard line, Turley gets the handoff, and he fights his way down inside the 25-yard line. Another big chunk on first down for the Lobos.
It's almost not fair. The Ben Franklin Chargers are having to get 2 yards, and then pull something out to get, a gain to get the first down. The Lobos are just chunking yards here and really need to come up with a score with these both ball control offenses going right now.
A pickup of 6 for Turley on the carry. One receiver comes to the near side for Ramage. A tandem backfield once again for Snowflake. Handoff goes to Turley. He fights his way off a tackle, and we got a flag coming in as he fights his way down almost to the 10-yard line. But I think we may have a hold on this one, and it's going to come back. It's against the Lobos. A nice bit of running by Turley, but it's going to go for naught here as a result of the shenanigans with the holding call against Snowflake.
Yeah, the official signals. That's a spot foul. It's going to put the Lobos at second and long.
I'm Jimmy Dragna along with Aaron Hewish. Glad you're with us tonight. A gorgeous evening in the Valley of the Sun for football. 3A semifinal style here. Snowflake against Ben Franklin. Receivers right and left. They fake the handoff. Now it comes to Turley on a little swing out pass. Turley's got a blocker. He fights his way back. Again, Warby on the stop as Turley fights his way down inside the 30 and picks up the penalty yardage at least.
Wow, interesting stop. I believe that was Badger in on the stop. Noah Badger, number 74, coming from his defensive end spot on this near side to us to make it work.
One receiver to the near side for Ramage, and 2 to the far side. From the I formation, the shotgun. Ramage back to throw. Looking. He's going to keep it. He fakes the pass. He fights his way down inside the 10 and takes a shot.
Badger gave him a shot there, and that was a hit. That definitely could go in line for our Deemer's glass shattering hit of the
week. That was a hit, Aaron.
Need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASSMAN. And a 4th and short for the Lobos.
A pickup of 9 on Ramage for the keeper, but they're a yard shy here, and another big 4th down for Snowflake.
We saw this look against Sholo where they bring in Caden Cantrell as the quarterback and Bradley Ruiz. It's their heavy package.
Ramage under center. And the handoff goes straight ahead. No, a little off the right side.
I think that's going to be enough for the first down.
Yeah, I think Turley just stretched out enough when he went down. And he's got it.
And like I said earlier, that big package, Caden Cantrell comes in at quarterback. Ramage either comes off the field or goes to wideout. And the thing there is they bring Big Bradley Ruiz, the defensive tackle, in to block. They have Green blocking, and they give that ball to Turley. They're basically saying, here it is, here's where it's going, you try to stop it, and they didn't stop it. But
they can't.
Fortunately for the Lobos, after they had gotten a Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down.
Ramage again checking his wristband for the play call. Again, 2 men in the backfield, one running back on either side of him in the shotgun formation. Receivers right and left. The handoff goes to Green, and Green squirts through a hole and down very close to the 15-yard line.
I think we're going to give Taryn Green a credit for we're going to call it probably 2. It's more like 1.5. Great job of, was that Badger again coming in from his, it was Jeffries coming in from the linebacker spot. Those linebackers trying to, the linemen trying to tie up that offensive line, letting those backers come in and make those plays. One thing too, Jimmy, as we look here, we have play clocks on both sides. It's not a benefit all the time, at these sites to have these. So this is actually great tonight to watch these teams work with these clocks ticking down.
Yeah, there's nothing like playoff football. The handoff goes to Green. Green's got a blocker near side, 5, and out of bounds at about the 6-yard line.
That's enough for a Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down. Turley forced out at about the 6. That's going to bring us first and goal on the 6. Great opportunity here for the Lobos to punch it in and get even in this game.
Yeah, at least 6 positive yards there for Green. And a first and goal now for the Lobos at the Ben Franklin 7-yard line.
One thing, Jimmy, is this is only the 3rd possession of the game, and we're already getting close to halfway through this quarter. So we're on the 15-play drive right now of the Lobos.
I know, it's ground and pound and run and run and run. Under center, Ramage goes to Turley. He's got room, he's got the sideline. He's going to get the end zone. Far side, touchdown, Snowflake.
Great job by Turley not to see anything up. Bounced it out, nobody there. Pops it in the end zone for 6.
7-yard touchdown scamper for the senior, Brig Turley, at 8:05 of the second frame of football. And Snowflake an extra point away from tying this contest.
Number 4, Sam Crockett on to attempt the extra point for the Lobos.
Cantrell to hold, Crockett to kick.
And the kick is up and good by Crockett.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
All right, you guys are clear.
Yeah, it's getting a little easier.
Wilson Sporting Goods is pleased to be the official ball of the Arizona Interscholastic Association for all state playoffs. Wilson, what's your score? Known as a place to go for juicy, delicious, strong milk burgers, Carl's Jr. is the exclusive burger of the AIA.
Okay, you guys are live.
You can look at the stands here, Aaron, and for a city in northeastern Arizona that's almost 200 miles away, Sholo has definitely doubled the fans.
Snowflake.
You're going to have to hit me over the head.
That's okay. There's a lot of ties from Snowflake down here to the valley. It's not one of these charter schools. It's not a rich tradition. It's an old public school from way back when.
A lot of room on the far side, near side, and the quarterback for Ben Franklin. That's
Jimmy, I think he returned that ball right up to the 50. I think Game might actually start this drive in Lobo territory.
Danner Bowen has done everything except sell popcorn tonight. I'm telling you. He brings that back out of within the 5-yard line and brought it back almost 50 yards right to midfield.
Yeah, that ball I thought was actually going to bounce over his head.
Fix your mic again, Jimmy.
I'm sorry? Okay, we're back. 1st and 10 for Ben Franklin at midfield. A 45-yard return. Jeffries on the far side with a little run off the end, and he'll fight his way down close to the 45-yard line.
Taryn Green in on the stop for the Lobos again, coming from that middle linebacker spot, and just kind of been a little bit of a wrecking crew for these Chargers tonight. Although they have 7 on the board, I'm sure that they feel every bit of the green tonight.
A pickup of 3 for the ball carrier. The Chargers faced with a 2nd and 7 from the Lobo 46.5-yard line. One receiver comes to the near side. That's Loving, exactly. Handoff.
I believe that was Loving carrying it to this near side here.
Correct. Chanson Loving, the junior, who also plays linebacker on the defensive end of the football.
Looks like Chapman and Green in on the stop. One of the few times tonight we've called Chapman's name, but we can't underestimate his role from that outside backer spot. But I believe we get a loss on the play, so that's going to be 3rd and long.
3rd and 6 to be exact. Again, double tight end set. Back to throw is Bowen, and he's going to keep it. He's got some room. He's got the first down. He sidesteps the tackler on the sideline. Still going inside the 30, the 20, the 10, and he's finally ridden down in center of the field.
He's down, though. He is down.
Oh, my goodness.
What a run.
Tanner Bowen just getting it done all over the football field on that scamper.
You know, he officially had, I'm not quite sure, I'm counting the yards right now, but 39 yards, but I think he ran about 70 going back and forth and making that side to side.
Exactly.
Doing a great job. He looked like he came up a bit slow after meeting the Lobo tackler, so even though he got the yards, the Lobos put a little bit of punishment on for carrying that ball, but we bring up a Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down, and more importantly, 1st and goal inside the Lobo 10.
Bowen listed at 5'10", but only 150. I think you're right, Aaron. I think he took a shot at the end of that play. The ball carrier, Loving.
Now, what they do there is the quarterback gives it to that up back in motion, and then he, in turn, hands the ball to the far back, and they lost 2 on that. There was a some friends of mine have a name for that play. I don't particularly care for that, but I don't. The double handoff's always a scary thing, and it kind of puts Ben Franklin at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Ball was at the 7-yard line. Well, now it's back at the 10, so a 2nd down and goal from the 10. Man in motion to the near side. Loving gets to give. He's got some room in the corner, and he gets knocked out of bounds by Chapman at about the 5-yard line.
That brings up a 3rd and goal at the 5, Jimmy. Ben Franklin gets tackled at our near side. The end zone kind of going left to right. Right to left, and so we're going to have 3rd and 5, but we're going to be on this hash, and this seems to be doesn't really matter where they're at on the field. They seem to be pulling the ball either which way.
5:16 before intermission, second quarter action.
This is only the 4th possession we've had in this ball game. Each team has gone, this has been Franklin's 2nd possession.
It's like end zone to end zone. These guys just carry the mail. The handoff is going to go on the right side to Jeffries, and Jeffries gets spun around and dropped at, I think, maybe a pickup of a yard. Aaron, what do you think?
I don't think maybe a pickup of a yard, and that was Brick Turley coming from his outside backer spot. And whoa, is that Jeffries coming off with? That is going to be a huge. Jeffries looked like he is. I'm not sure if that's him hobbling off the field. Jeffries hobbling off the field. I'm not sure if it's a cramp or if they're working on a knee or an ankle. It looks like it might be a cramp.
Yeah, by the way, he was kind of favoring
so he did miss the season last year with the knee surgery, as we remember, and it looks like Ben Franklin's going to elect to go for the field goal.
They are. This will be a 25-yard attempt.
Case on the kick.
Case with the kick. It's up.
It's no good.
It's off.
Oh, they did call it good.
Right inside the right upright.
I cannot see that far. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
25.
This playoff game is presented by Shola Ford. Also presented in part by Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, Jace Green, Brown and Russo Insurance, Williams Brothers Auto Service, Nathan and Larry Williams, Hancock Levitt Insurance, Monty Hancock, K&S Tech Services, Scott Mills, and State Farm Insurance. Joe Bjorn.
You're live.
10-7 is our score here on Higley Road on the campus of the beautiful Williams Field High School. The 3A semifinal between Snowflake, your Snowflake Lobos, and the Ben Franklin Chargers. And a real pop on the kickoff return. And
Ryan Graham, who's actually listed as a defensive lineman, comes in and lays a huge hit. Was that Green on the return, or was that Turley? We're not sure. We couldn't get a number, but I believe it was Green, and Green meet Graham.
I'll tell you what, you could feel that up here. Wow.
Now,
That
the
was
Lobos,
pop.
I believe, they come out with 3 timeouts down 10-7 with 4:20 left in the quarter. So I don't think the clock becomes their enemy. But again, only the 5th possession of this ball game thus far.
At their own 26-yard line. Again, Ramage at that tandem backfield. The handoff will go to Green, I believe, or is that Turley? Turley
For a gain of 7, huge gain of 7. Keeping that clock moving, though. I'm expecting the Lobos to use their timeouts pretty sparingly on this drive to lengthen the clock to get them into that end zone.
You know, Brig Turley, sometimes he shows you that strength. That time he just came out like a bullet out of the backfield. He can show you different stages of carrying the football that is it's phenomenal to watch this kid. Green on the handoff, and he'll fight his way up close to the 37-yard line.
These Lobo
and
ball
he's
carriers,
got a first down.
If it hadn't been for that holding on the last one, these Lobo ball carriers are getting 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, and not giving Ben Franklin much of a room to recover as they're coming up to the line and just punching him in the face every time.
So a pickup of 4 for Green, and another first down for the Lobos at the 39-yard line, their own 39. Fakes the handoff, play action, and the wide receiver, and Caldwell looks like.
Actually, I think
held
that
on
might have
to
been
that
number
ball.
10, Caden Cantrell,
Cantrell.
the sophomore, the sophomore, the backup quarterback that we see on the heavy set. He comes from that wide out position and makes that play. Huge gain of 7, almost 8.
Second down, Turley goes straight up the middle and gets spun, almost like a little bit of a pinwheel there. And I think he's got enough for another first down.
That brings us a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. Brings the Lobos right on the cusp of going into Charger territory.
2:54 before intermission. A 10-7 advantage right now for the actual home team here down in the valley. That would be Ben Franklin, but Snowflake driving with the football, not on that play though. There met Rudy, the ball carrier, was Turley at the line of scrimmage.
Right, and I kind of look for
nothing.
the Lobos to use a timeout. I thought they would use one there, but they elect not to. Puts them behind the sticks at second, and a short 12, long 11.
Lost of 2, Aaron, you're right.
Snowflake with the clock running, a little, still not much worry to get the play in.
Ramage to roll out to the near side. He's got a receiver, and that's Green, and Green gets pounded as soon as he hangs on to the football. Makes the catch right at the 30 in the field.
I believe the Lobos are going to call a timeout. We're going to take one here as well. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
You can always count on something big going on at the Hallmark store in Pinetop. And right now, it's Hallmark's Holiday Open House. Prepare to fill your home with holiday spirit when you drop in to see everything new for the holiday season. You're also invited to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the store. There are going to be a ton of giveaways, hot cocoa and apple cider, and delicious cookies every day for you to
That's
enjoy.
one of your
while you
mics
feast
that's
on all
feeding
the new
back. If
items
you'll
for holiday
start turning them
gift-giving
off
and
one by
decorating.
one,
They're open every
you can
day of the
figure
week
out
till
which
6 p.m.,
wireless it
Sundays till
is.
4. It's the Hallmark Holiday Open House through November 17th in Pinetop.
I'll be home in an hour. Is it still snowing?
Yeah, we just got home ourselves.
It's so cold. Can you please have a fire ready when I get there?
Yep, see you, dear. Johnny, can you bring some wood in?
Sure, Dad. Dad? The glass on our fireplace is broken.
What?
Mom really wants a fire.
I can run this to Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. They stock fire-rated glass and can most likely fix it today.
Deemer's Glass, 1-888-GLASSMAN.
This fire feels so warm and toasty. Thank you, honey.
Snowflake with the football. Back to throw, Ramage. He's got a receiver. Turley with a nice catch, and he gets about 5 yards after the reception. A pickup of almost 8 on the play. Just shy of the first down marker by about 2.5 yards.
You know, the Lobos go back right here just to what's got them this point in the game. Only down 10-7, driving, still have 2 of their timeouts left. I think they just give it to Turley or Green and just let them get those yards the way they've been doing it.
Clock continuing to run here, 1:34 before intermission. And Sholo looking to the
Snowflake.
Snowflake looking to the sideline. And I think they should take one right here. I'm not exactly sure why they're letting that clock run down.
Are they content to go in the half with that? They let the play clock run down to 1.
Yeah, and they're going to kick the football.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, something you mentioned interesting a while ago is you talked to both bus drivers before the game. There's not too many personalities of on the air that I know that go talk to the drivers for the game. But one thing we want to do is we go out and we go through this month, Veterans Day this month, the 101st anniversary of the armistice. We want to give a shout out to our veterans and all that they've done for our country. And I think it's great that you were able to talk to 2 old Navy men. I know Bill. Good man, and I think it's just fantastic that these guys have done a lot, and then they go out into the work field after their veteran status, and then they come back in. What do? They go drive a bus with these young men on, and I know these young men are appreciated that they got down here safe and got down here on time and got to turn around and go. So I think that's a great job to give us a little something extra as we go through our broadcast tonight.
Well, they're not going to kick the football. Oh, they are going to kick. They are not going to kick the football.
No, I see.
4th down and 3, and Snowflake is going for it. Ramage, Turley in the backfield.
Oh, I believe the left tackle jumped for the Lobos, which is going to back them up.
5 yards in reverse.
False start on the offense. 5 yards. Still 4th down.
And now that will make Snowflake punt the football.
I do, but more importantly, Ben Franklin with only 1:14. They just don't seem like the type of team that's going to strike and get you at 1:14 behind the chains and get you into the end zone.
Aaron, you were mentioning veterans. I want to say a shout out to my son, Jordan Kopp. He's 6 years Navy corpsman, U.S. Navy, and I just want to say a hero in my book for me. Thank you, Jordan.
That's fantastic. We love having these, real life stories, and we appreciate the veterans and their service. And thank you to your son.
High snap. And a short, wobbly kick, but it's going to get out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. And while he dodged the bullet there on a bad snap, Aaron.
Oh, that was a little bit awry. Crockett was able to kick it off his foot. They're marking it about at the 36-yard line. We saw it land. We don't have the benefit of seeing that went out of bounds. Minute 8, Ben Franklin with all 3 timeouts. And I got to think that they're planning something here. As we go through, there's something deep in the playbook that this double tight, double wing hasn't showed us yet. They do seem to always put that wide out on the far side that isn't even involved in the huddle.
Right.
So if he comes in and gets involved in the huddle, let's warn the Lobos.
Yeah, it's Ryan Graham flanked out to the far side. Back to throw. Bowen's going to go downfield. He's got a receiver in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Graham, at the 40-yard line of Snowflake.
Graham meet Jacob Ballard. Jacob Ballard, number 9 in there. Great job by the safety coming up. And
I think we're going to have an official timeout here. I think we are. Hurt.
Ballard didn't do anything other than defend that play, hit his hands, put the hit on, and that puts I believe is Graham we're saying it
Ryan is? Graham is down with his back to the field and doesn't look like he's moving too much.
That brings us 2nd and 10. You know what? We're going to take a break here. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who was it, Mike?
Northland Pioneer College is proud to support high school athletics. When it comes time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition rate in the state. All of NPC's credits are guaranteed to transfer to all Arizona universities, so why pay 11 times more for the same education? You'll save enough money to pay for the final 2 years of your bachelor's degree at a public Arizona university. Your parents' wallet will thank you. Northland Pioneer College. Expanding minds, transforming lives.
We're back live from Williams Field High School, where it's a 10-7 Ben Franklin score, and they have the football, then the lead. They pushed the pile forward with a keeper, and I believe across the 40-yard line, right about in front of where we are, Aaron.
Looking at trying to paint a picture there of a listening audience, they pushed that pile forward, and they were about 6 yards down the field. The quarterback, however, was tackled by the nose guard, I believe that might have been the tackle, Carter Solomon, right back where about a 2-yard gain. That's going to actually bring up 3rd and about 8 here. They spend a timeout, but we're under a minute. And knowing what I know about this Lobo offense, they've got a deep threat with 1 timeout. Maybe they can force Ben Franklin into a punting situation here, and we can see what happens there.
Well, it's 55.3 before intermission, Aaron, and who knows what this last minute has in store.
You know, what's interesting is we've gone possession, and then we had the punt, and all of a sudden, what Ben Franklin, with not the typical time they're looking for, lines up to, do something they haven't done, and Graham ends up hurt on that play. Something different we've seen. Ben Franklin comes out with trips and gun here.
Graham to the near side, 2 receivers to the top of the field. He swings it out, Bowen does, and it's caught, and then riding McAfee with the reception.
And I believe Snowflake is going to take a timeout. With 49 seconds left, with the Ben Franklin Chargers up 10-7, this is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
NextCare Urgent Care is proud to be the preferred healthcare partner of the AIA. NextCare offers sports, physicals, illness, and injury with in-house heater, x-rays, and lab testing. To find the nearest clinic, visit nextcare.com.
You're right on that timeout. They're going to get the ball back. Welcome back to
Ron.
Williams Field High School.
We disconnected.
49 seconds left in the ball game for the first half. A tandem backfield, and they're going to punt it away right now. And there's a end-over-end kick. Bowen gets it all the way down inside the 25-yard line. It will roll dead at the Snowflake 22-yard line. We're not on, are we? I'll just keep talking anyway. 35 seconds before intermission. A 43-yard punt from scrimmage, if you believe that. I don't believe it. Sholo will have. Jump out the window here in a minute. I'm glad we're not on it, I keep saying it.
Lobos get the ball here with 35 seconds left, down 10-7, but do not have a timeout. See what Ramage does. He may just go to a knee here.
I think they will go. Nope. Ramage Turley gets the ball out to the far side and fights his way up for a couple of hard-earned yards, but he had to run almost 15 yards lateral just to pick it up. Clock continuing to run here, 23.
Whatever they do here, they could be able to get that one last punch in.
Yeah, I think this is where we'll see the knee. If they even snap the football clock going
if
down
they get
under
off, they
10
may just be
seconds.
content. You know what? Ben Franklin gets the ball to start this half, and we're going to go before we go to half. Ramage with the snap, looks deep, throws.
Intercepted by Bowen. And Bowen's got some running room ahead to the far side. Coming this way, he's got a tandem of blockers. One man to beat around the corner. He'll finally get ridden out of bounds. And rudely at that.
And we'll get down to halftime, and we're going to take a break. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
That was a crazy play.
They're waving up the flag, no flag. That's the end of the first half. Benjamin Franklin Chargers 10, Snowflake Lobos 7.
We got Cam. Is Cam with us here?
I don't know.
I think we lost the station, right?
Yeah.
When it says IP1.
Franklin cheer team.
Gotcha.
had 3 penalties for 20 yards and 1 turnover on the interception.
We don't know.
3 for 30.
Yeah, 3 for 30, 1 interception, 1 turnover.
You guys are when we first got here, I had 1 bar. This whole thing was rising. And we have 1 bar. Wi-Fi, not my Wi-Fi, my 4G, my LTE.
I can't get it out of my head. You know what it is? See, it's not just the station here, but my ex-wife lives in it now. Yeah, it's like too much drama.
You should get that out of your mind.
Yeah, I know. I haven't. Yeah, well, she's out of my mind, all right. It's like making something. She's got one of my dogs. She kidnapped him. I have to go back for like Monday since when I come to the station. I have to go to cop and get my dog. She adopted a Mexican hairless short band. His name is Rudy. He's the player guy. He's like this. He thinks he's Monday. He's out of his mind.
Do you want me to turn it down? No, what I did is I just turned your channels off.
Yeah.
Whatever you need me to do.
He's very skilled. Two buses,
That's time.
Oh, yeah.
What I noticed is in my brief history
5 yards.
is there's never a perfect night.
The rush, here's a
Perfect night it just doesn't fit. Every night is perfect and the imperfection.
I broke my
Right now, he's destroyed.
Like I'm all like, I got this, right? It's like a
kick off return.
He's like, you guys back up. And then Ron.
Right.
Yeah, and then flies yeah, and Ron's sitting there going. So again, just disconnected again.
I mean, I can go down there. So I don't know if you want to check that whenever you're
But it's
He's a good athlete. And he's set it and everything was on top of it.
Good game though.
Said Jeffrey's related to the club.
I got Charlie on that sweet clear process. I got to give a great shout out. Yeah, they're playing right. So I knew the first quarter they would get him. What has happened is they would get him 2 years ago, and then they would go nuts. Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Were we ready for some stats?
He's good.
Jeffrey's 7 for 9.
Yep. 7 carries for 9 yards. Logan's a lead rusher.
Hello?
6 carries for 7 yards. They have no penalties, no turnovers.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, they're playing air free football.
You bet.
working.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch over to
4 months.
Oh, that's it?
Long enough to buy a car and get fired.
So what do we do when I need to go to Jimmy? Just hold it over to him? Okay. I can't really hear you. Are we ready to go here? So we're going.
I'll see.
30 seconds.
This is how K&B does it down in the red.
We did it for pacing that one time.
Welcome back to. Oh, I got it. Welcome back to Williams Field High School. And I think I really want to say Queen Creek, but it technically is Gilbert, because we have Gilbert police here, so I've managed to ascertain that. I talked to the gendarmes before the game, and they said, we're in Gilbert. There it is. So anyway, we ought to give you some stats and tell you that it's a 10-7 ball game, and the school that's closest to home, Ben Franklin, which is in Gilbert, is up 10-7 on the strength of a touchdown and a field goal. That was a 25-yarder by the guy that's been doing everything for Ben Franklin by the name of Danner Bowen. He is quite the athlete. Bowen, the leading rusher for the Chargers.
When you push this, you can talk right now.
6 carries, 67 yards. Thrown the ball twice.
Hear you.
Completed 1 pass for 5 yards. Also, Zach Jeffries, the son of Coach Jeffries, who's, by the way, one of the running backs on this ball club for Ben Franklin. 7 carries, 9 yards. And, I mean, really, it has really been amazingly so for the Ben Franklin Chargers side, the Danner Bowen show. He has done just about everything, Aaron. I mean, the interception return, the kickoff return. I mean, we've got return yards, almost 100 yards for him alone. Plus, he's carried for 67 yards on the ground. So, Bowen is the guy. On the other side, of course, from the Lobos of Snowflake, of course, we can't say anything without talking about Brig Turley. And Turley has been as good as Bill. 12 carries, 48 yards, and the lone touchdown for the Lobos. 7 carries, 31 yards for his backfield mate. I want to call him Mr. Green. What is Mr. Green's first name?
Taryn Green.
Terrence Green.
Aaron
with an E with Aaron with a T.
Aaron with a T, that's right, Taryn. That reminds me of Mr. Green in the library with a book. Remember that game?
I do remember that game.
We were commiserating here as 2 school teachers could about all kinds of things that are really not all that intelligent.
No, not really at all.
But we're having a fine time. We hope you are. I'm Jimmy Dragna, and it's Aaron Jewish with me here. It's been a real interesting first half of football. Aaron, what do you take?
I think the Lobos need to come out and play their game. I think they need to get ahead a little bit and let their defense make the 1 or 2 stops. I think we talked about it before the game. I said if Snowflake can make 3 stops on Ben Franklin, they win the ball game. And I think that 3, because of this first half, is now turned to 2. What's going to be interesting to see, Jimmy, is the adjustments that each team makes in order to, put points on the board to get this thing through.
Well, if you go back all the way to when you said it was, 110 degrees in the shade, August 30th.
The other semi.
And Ben Franklin High School was the place. It was a 43-21 loss, the lone loss of the season for the Lobos.
No, they lost to Payson later in the season.
But in overtime.
But negate that because we're back here in this matchup in the semis. Who cares about the regular season at this point?
Yeah, good point. And I stand corrected there. They did have 2 losses. But yeah, going back to August 30th, and according to our coach here, Coach
Jeffries?
No, the other guy.
For the Lobos?
Yes.
Oh, Solomon.
Coach Solomon. I just spoke to him and at least said for 15 minutes. I don't know why I couldn't bring up his name. But Coach Solomon, what a nice gentleman. 5 years at the helm for him. And really giving him his time, giving me his stars, telling me about, this he feels is probably his hardest working team. May not be his best team in his first 5 years, but he says no, by beyond a doubt, the most hard-working team he's had in 5 seasons.
Well, they say, and the old saying is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and maybe that's something we see because only down 10-7. I still give the Lobos the up in the game. They gave up 2 long runs, and that was basically it.
Hey, do you want a coach interview? Is that what you said, Ron?
Yeah, you ready for coach?
Right now, we believe we have Ron down with one of our coaches. At this point, we're going to turn down to Ron now.
You got it on? Flip me over. All right, here we are. Coach, quite a game. Anything that you didn't expect at this point?
Not yet. You know, we know what they got. They got all 3 of their backs coming out of the backfield and their quarterback. Just incredible athletes can run the ball. If they get the open field, then we're in trouble. And so we know we got to contain that, keep them tied down and pinned down, and so that's what we're going to keep working on doing. And offensively, I think we've done a lot of good things. We just haven't finished a couple of drives, and we're going to keep working at it and just keep punching at them. I think we've seen us wear a few teams down. I think we're going to try to just do that here and see what we can get done.
All right, Coach, we need a victory for a nice ride home. So
take it.
Good luck.
We'll work on it.
Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Ron. And as we go into the second half, we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Sholo Ford, Summit Healthcare, Ace Hardware, Northland Pioneer College. Northland Pioneer College sponsoring all the kickoffs tonight. When it comes to kickoff your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. Of course, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass with those first downs. We have Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your style. And they sponsor our straight line play of the game. And right now, the running by the Ben Franklin quarterback is definitely the running for that straight line play of the game. Next, we have Deemer's Glass, our glass shattering hit of the week. Need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass at Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASSMAN. And the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports.
Could you
the
hear
player
that
of the game is
interview?
brought to you by Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports.
I couldn't hear
for
my
the best
ears.
selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain. Go to the Honda Ski and Sports Outdoor Store south of Pine Top on Highway 260. So, Jimmy, we are gonna. Have they put the 3 minutes back on, or are we set to run down and start here? I'm not quite sure where we're at in this half, but probably an idea to
we got time for a break.
Take a break. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
That's the first penalty of the night for Ben Franklin. They were error-free in the first half.
I think Jeffries is out.
We think that Jeffries might be out. Maybe we can get our sideline injury report, Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report from Ron here in the next little bit with Jeffries.
Ryan Graham flanked to the near side of the field, the only wideout in this formation. And it's going to be a keeper by Bowen. He doesn't get much running room off that left side of the O-line.
I'm going to give him a gain of 2. However, that puts him way behind the sticks at 2nd and 13 at this point.
Ball just shy of the Ben Franklin 42-yard line. Again, as you said, Aaron, they always isolate that wide receiver out here. He doesn't even get in the huddle.
Not even in the huddle. 2nd and long for the Chargers.
Graham is that wide out to the near side. Back to throw. Bowen looking his way. He's going for Graham down the sideline. Incomplete over the intended hands of the receiver. Coverage on the play.
Shandon Hatch.
That looks like number 22, Shandon Hatch. We
It
haven't
was
called
Hatch.
his name much tonight, but Shandon Hatch out there making sure that those Ben Franklin Chargers don't. So that puts the Chargers in quite a bit of a disadvantage for this offense that they run. And if the Lobos can hold here, they're going to get the ball in great field position.
3rd down and 14 for the Charger offense. 9:35 of quarter number 3. Again, a 3A state semifinal. The winner goes on to the championship ball game next Saturday. Back to throw. Bowen. Bowen looking. He's under pressure. He's going to put it up.
Warby.
In and out of the hands.
No, Warby.
Warby makes the catch and fights his way down inside Lobo territory at the 35-yard line.
Warby down to the 45-yard line. Great job. It kind of was tapped by the defender, and I'm not sure. I think that might have been Hatch there. Hatch, and then Warby able to kind of pop the ball up with his right hand and pass it to his left hand, and then be able to get a gain of about 6 after he made that. First down and a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down here at Williamsfield High School.
And again, Danner Bowen getting it done, rolling out, looking so calm and collected, and delivering that right on the money under pressure. Again, Bowen, the handoff goes to the left side. Warby.
Bradley Reese
hits the tackle and then goes down in a hurry after a gain of about 3. At best.
I believe that was Loving, and I'm not mistaken. Let me check with our statistician. I believe Loving is now taking the load that Jeffries had carried. Jeffries, as we last saw, was on the bench. He's got his ice on his knee.
31, you're right.
Not sure if that was the same knee that he injured last year, but fine running back. Looks like he's going to spend the rest of the night watching the game for the Chargers.
One receiver flanked to the top of your screen, or the field if you'll have it that way. 2nd and 9 for the offense, and it's going to be Loving on the carry. He'll fight his way down.
Bradley Reese.
A gain of another 4, maybe 5 yards for the Charger O.
Great job by Loving. Looks like they didn't take off too much with having Jeffries out. Looks like Graham coming over to get the play from the sideline. The play clock under 30 already. A 40-second play clock has been implemented this year in high school. And Graham comes over and gets the play and brings his team back. And we're 7:50 left in the 3rd quarter. Ben Franklin up 10-7.
3rd and 4 for a Charger first down. Bowen looks like an option, and he gets hit in the backfield. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. There'll be no gain on the play.
That was Trevin Hensley, the senior for the Lobos, in on that stop. More importantly, brings us a 4th and 5, and I got to think the Chargers are in 4-down territory. But with the plays that they're averaging, this is puts them a little bit behind here.
Well, again, I hate to say the 2 words Danner Bowen, but we'll see what that young man can roll up his sleeves and get accomplished. I'm not a cheerleader for either team here, but Bowen has been the guy that has been on the money tonight. We've got all kinds of motion.
Oh, my
I believe
goodness.
This is going to go
I think that
the
might
offense.
go against. I think that's going to definitely go against the the defense.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. First down.
Now, I hate to sound like a homer here, but I think those Snowflake Lobos were drawn off in the middle, but that's just me. Got to try to stay a little bit neutral here, and that's going to bring up enough for a first down, a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. The officials are spotting the chains, and tough break for that interior line of the Lobos there. I'm not sure that the left guard for the Chargers did not move and draw them off sides, but we're not the ones down there on the field. We're not the ones seeing it. The officials sure saw it that way, and it's 1st and 10 for the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree with you, Aaron. I thought there was moving in the backfield there, but as the coin flip goes, sometimes it goes your way, and it did that time for Ben Franklin in the backfield, and wrapped up in a hurry was the ball carrier. I think that was number 65, Layson Isaacs.
It's either 68 or 60. It might be. I can't get quite a number on it. It turns here. That's either Layson Isaacs or David Ruiz, both of them at the nose guard position.
Yeah, they like to rotate, don't they?
We'll talk about it after this play here.
2nd and 11, a loss on the play. Ball at the 26-yard line of Snowflake. Bowen back to throw, getting set. He's got a man in the flat. It's caught and then hit immediately after the catch. A gain of not much, maybe 3 yards at best.
Gain of 3, and that's going to put the Chargers at a 3rd and quite long. I didn't see who made the stop there, but I think the Chargers are definitely playing for 4-down territory. They do have a kicking game, but I think this right here would just be out of reach for their kicker. And in high school ball, if ball gets past that goal line, it comes out to the 20. So interesting to see what the strategy is going to be here.
Danner Bowen was hands on hips there, looking to the sideline. He's got his play. And in the huddle right now, and they break it, 5-17. And counting, 3rd and 9 from the 24-yard line of Snowflake. The handoff on a reverse comes over to the right side, running room. And it looks like enough for the first down and more. To the 10, to the 5, and ridden out of bounds inside the 4-yard line.
A flag came from almost the official, the linesman, or it might have even been the field judge who was down at the end, and that came way back. And I think this is going to be a huge break for the Lobos, and we're going to back up the Chargers, and I believe this is their first flag.
I think it might have been a block in the back. I don't know. But from where it was thrown, it is against the offense.
Yep, which puts them 3rd and quite a bit here.
Well, sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That last first down was a penalty-wrapped first down for Ben Franklin, and this time they shoot themselves in the foot with their own yellow laundry, and now it's going back the other way.
Agreed, Jimmy. 3rd and 11 here. Now, we're in 4-down territory. Like I said, I think they're a bit out of field goal range, so the Chargers are just trying to get 2 5-yard plays out of that playbook. Maybe a 6-yard and a 4-yard, doesn't matter, but this play right here is huge because we're at 5 in the 3rd quarter. Chargers up 10-7, clinging to a 3-point lead. The Lobos have yet to see the ball in this quarter.
I think Coach Jeffries will probably go for a field goal if they get another 5 yards out of this play. Bowen back to throw. Under pressure, he puts up a pine spiral in the end zone, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver.
And we have another flag down on the ground.
Another flag at the 30-yard line.
And that's going to back them up huge. I believe they're going to, Snowflake probably smart to decline it here and put them up 4th and short 12, long 11 in this 3rd quarter.
Holding on the offense, number 77. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
There you have it, 4th down and 11. And we'll have to see if they elect to try to kick a field goal or punt the ball away. They're going to go for it.
I think they're going to go for it here. They've had some luck on these long plays already.
You're right, Aaron. They have. They have made some big plays tonight. And Ben Franklin seems to be able to pull up an ace in the hole out when they need it. We'll have to see what happens to the Lobo offense. The Lobo defense is going to be tested here. 4th and 11 at the 26-yard line of Snowflake. Tan the backfield. He's going to keep it. Bowen's got some room. He'll cut it back and get hit by the end and ridden down immediately. Good tackle there in the open field by David Ruiz.
We're going to take a break. This is Show Low Fort's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Second effort.
We're back at Williamsfield High School where the Lobos just give it to Brig Turley for about a 7-yard gain. We want to remind our listeners that we're having internet problems at the station in Show Low. If you would switch over, or listening on the radio, you can switch over to your phone, computer at italk1067.com or YouTube or Facebook and pick up our audio feed there at this point.
Turley again with the give, and he's got the first down as he falls forward across the 35-yard line, and a first down for the Lobo offense.
You know, Jimmy, I see the Lobos taking it right down here and scoring, taking it all the way to the fourth quarter and getting ahead in this ball game.
I think you're right, Aaron.
The answer is going to be, Ben Franklin just doesn't have an answer right now.
Handoff goes, I believe, to Green. Is that Green? I think they called Green on that number. It was. And he fights the ball up close to the 43-yard line. And a first down for, no, check that. Second down. Gotcha. Thank you. Second down and 4 for the Lobo offense. Turley gets hit after he crosses the line of scrimmage and thrown backwards. It'll be maybe a gain of 1 at best.
The way the Lobos are moving the ball here, I don't even see punting as being an option. I see right down third here going back to Green or Turley, getting that first down and just continuing to chunk yards on this Charger defense, who I'm looking at these numbers. A lot of these guys are going both ways, and I think it's going to be hard for them to cover and recover as we move on. The Lobos just got too much. However, they are behind 10-7 as we roll to 3 minutes left, and they've got to put it in the end zone.
But you don't feel they're losing this ball game. You just don't.
I don't at all,
The
Jimmy.
scoreboard betrays the way it shows right now.
Absolutely.
Under 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Turley back in the backfield. And he gets it screened with the ball carry. He's got the first down as he falls forward up near midfield.
Green on the carry for the Lobos. That's enough for a first down.
That brings us a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
You know, Aaron, I only saw Snowflake one time before this year, and it was when I had the opportunity to watch you guys do your 4-camera remote on YouTube and Facebook, and in a game against Push Ridge, and I watched Sholo in the second half wear down that team. Snowflake.
Turley up the middle, and Turley's met with a charge.
He stood up immediately. No gain on the play.
You know, Jimmy, if it's a pack of Lobos, what's a group of Chargers? Lightning? I don't know. I'm clueless here.
I would go with a debit card myself.
I agree. The plural of Charger is Chargers.
I like Lobos. They got more teeth.
The pack.
2nd and 10 from midfield. Make it the 49 of Snowflake. Ramage over the middle. He's got a man. Did he make that catch?
No,
or did he trap
ball falls to the turf, but that does stop the clock. Minute 53 left, Jimmy. Lobos down 10-7, but again, I feel like you do. I do not feel like they're losing this ball game.
No, and like you said, the fact that this Ben Franklin team goes guys both ways, at least 6 deep.
Well, the Lobos have guys going both ways too. They're just clearly in better shape.
Right, they are. From the I formation, 3rd and 10. Ramage back to throw at his own 42. Hesitates, looks. He's going to keep it. No, he hands it off. No, he throws it. He's got a man down the field. A completion. Chavin's got the ball inside the 40-yard line. First down, Snowflake.
Snowflake did everything they could. They're just wearing down this Charger defense. 26-yard gain. Ramage scrambled. There's not many defensive backs that can cover a guy for as long as Ramage eluded everyone. First down, and the Lobos driving and threatening deep into this third quarter.
I'll tell you, if you were a college recruiter between Danner Bowen and Mr. Ramage over here for Snowflake, these two quarterbacks, they are getting it done tonight. Excellent quarterback play on both sides of the football tonight from Gilbert, Arizona.
Ramage, the second-year starter, like to give a shout-out to his dad, who's actually the volleyball coach on the volleyball team going to the semifinals this year. Ramage, the second year as a starter, doing a phenomenal job. 26-yard gain there by Ramage, and looks like it forced the Chargers to use a timeout. They have no answer at this point, even though they're up 10-7.
Their back is against the wall right now.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Strauss wants to inspire, educate, and empower every person.
back?
We're back live from Gilbert, Arizona. Williams Field High School. Third quarter, 3A semifinal. Turley on the right side. He'll break a tackle and fight his way down close to the 20-yard line.
Gain of
Almost
9.
a first down.
They're not quite going to give him a first down, but he does have a gain of 9 on that play. And 17 carries for 70 yards. Those yards are hard-earned, and they've all been at the right time for Brig Turley this evening.
And you know, this young man seems to get stronger as the ball game goes on.
Well, something else it's been brought up after this play we'll discuss.
2nd and 2. Turley again on the right side. And he fights his way down inside the 10-yard line, and another first down for Snowflake.
Something else, when the Lobos came down to play the Chargers, it was on their field. It was August. It was 102 degrees at kickoff. One of the warmest nights the players had kind of, some of the coaches had said when it had been discussed. And so coming down on the altitude, they're in clearly much better shape. And coming down from the altitude, they just have their wind at this point.
Third first down of the drive. The handoff will go to Green. Green's got the end zone. Touchdown, Snowflake.
And they finally go up for that touchdown. And that's the way it feels right now. It feels like Ben Franklin is on their heels. Not to jump ahead too much, but Ben Franklin's going to have to come up with something very big on this next drive. Otherwise, this will be the Lobos football game.
And Aaron, you said it. After that timeout, you could see Ben Franklin kind of dragging themselves back on the field. And who was standing at the line of scrimmage waiting? Everybody in white and blue.
Yep.
The Lobos are ready, and they're not showing any signs of tired exhaustion at all. A 9-yard touchdown run for Green, and punctuated by the extra point by Cromwell.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Welcome back to Williams Field High School in Gilbert, Arizona, where for the first time tonight, the Lobos of Snowflake have taken control of the ball game and have the lead. Bowen feeling it at the 15-yard line, and he sidesteps a couple tacklers, and he goes down in a pile of tacklers at about the 31, I believe.
Jimmy, I just feel, you look at we're on the Ben Franklin home side in front of the press box. You look over to the Snowflake side, it's excited, it's loud. I haven't heard the crowd over here this loud. It's not nearly as full as that other side. I feel a momentum shifting. We kind of felt it all the third quarter, even though the Lobos was behind, as we were discussed, 10-7. They come out now, they're up 14-10 and have all the momentum in the world. A stop here, this game will be theirs.
I'll tell you, we're going to have to see how the Lobo defense reacts here. They look like they're ready for being up to the task. 1st and 10 at their own 29. Bowen, he's going to keep it, and he's going to meet a trio of tacklers.
Coy Schwartz smelled him out there and was able to bring him down, and he is, I don't know if he's frustrated getting up or just really slow to get up. We're not even going to give him a gain on that play. It doesn't look like the down marker moved at all.
Also, David Ruiz in there with the pile of people to make the stop in that trio of defenders.
Yep, David coming from that nose guard spot to make that hit. And Ben Franklin in a position they're not normally in. They can let the clock go into the fourth quarter here.
I think they're going to, Aaron.
I agree. Looks like they're going to let the...
We're down to 9-8-7. I think this is going to be the last... that was the last play of the quarter. And they're going to want to switch it around and go back the other way. Three quarters of football in the book.
And we're going to flip the field here and go into the fourth with the Lobos up 14-10 on the Ben Franklin Chargers. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
That's a big phone. So, 12 minutes of 3A semifinal action. Loving's going to get the carry, and he's got some room and a tackler. He fights his way down very close to a first down, a pickup of almost 9.
That was a page out of the Lobos playbook there. The Chargers just doing what they can to chunk yards. Right back at the Lobos. Time is going to become a huge factor for the Chargers. I think time is on the Lobos side. They seem to be getting an average of probably 7 yards a pop on the last 2 drives. That brings us to a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
At the 39-yard line of the Chargers, Bowen pitched to Warby. Warby's got some room, a blocker, and then he gets stood up. Oh my goodness, what a pop.
Oh my goodness, that definitely was Welcome Chapman, and that is the very good candidate for the Deemers Glass shattering hit of the game. Need glass for your home business. Deemers Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemers Glass, call 1-888-GLASSMAN. And I don't even know about our Beeler orthodontic straight line play of the game. I say that whole last Lobo drive to put them up. That pass to Welcome Chapman, I think, is going to be our, well, too early to say, but definitely is a candidate for it.
Welcome Chapman just said welcome to Mother Earth with that hit. Wow, that was a pop and a half.
That was amazing.
2nd and 7 for the Charger offense. And Bowen nowhere to go. He's going to keep it, and no gain on the play. That looked like a mixed up play somewhere there.
Taryn Green with the initial hit, and then Coy Schwartz there to clean it up. 2nd and, I'm going to call it, the down marker just flipped. It's 3rd and 5, and the Chargers got to be thinking they're in 4-down territory, but they do not want to give it over to the Lobos this deep in the territory.
Aaron, I don't know what you saw, but when Bowen turned around, it looked like he was planning on handing the ball off, or at least maybe that's the way it was designed, and there was no one there, and he had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. And again, the clock just ticks down here. Play clock under 10. 10:07 left in the game. Lobos up 14-10.
One receiver to the near side. Again, the I formation, and we'll have a timeout by the officials.
Ben Franklin forces the timeout. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Visit AZPrep365.com for everything high school sports. Scores, rosters, schedules, rankings, and tournament brackets can all be found at visiting collegesavings.com.
Aaron Hewish on my right. I'm Jimmy Dragna. Glad you're with us tonight. It has been one heck of a football game, and don't go anywhere. We've still got 10:01 left. 14-10. The visitors from all the way down, all the way up in Snowflake, Arizona, are trying to have their way and win a game in Phoenix. Bowen to roll out to the near side, looks up downfield. He's got a receiver, that's Graham. Graham's got the ball at about the 45 and takes it down inside the 43-yard line for a big first down for the Chargers.
Jimmy, I don't know at this point in the game if we can say this, but that might be the play that either saves Ben Franklin, because if they get that to 4th and 5 and don't make it and throw an incomplete pass there, the clock stops. It puts them in a very tough position, either to punt it away or give the Lobos some incredible field position. So that was definitely could be game-saving for the Chargers in their favor.
Well, it's kind of like a prize fight, you know. I mean, each guy kind of comes up with a big punch, and the other guy reacts to it, and I think we still got a lot of football left.
Balboa Lang, too.
The handoff will go on the left side to Loving. Loving's got a block, and that's it. He gets pushed out of bounds by Chapman at about the 42-yard line.
It looks like there's a Lobo down on the turf here. I can't quite get a number on the Lobo that's down. That might be the defensive end. It's Ballard. It's Ruiz, the nose guard.
68.
Ruiz, the nose guard. We've called his name a few times on the last drive. It looks like the medical staff out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's an injury. I think it might be a cramp, Aaron.
Yeah, the trainer, Lynn Johnson. It looks like Dr. Chad Brimhall down there. And back on the sidelines for the Lobos is another athletic trainer for years, and that's Ashley Davis. He's actually moved down here to the Valley and taken a position, but it looks like he's not going to let a Lobo game on the sidelines go to waste.
Well, we got a 2nd and 8 situation here while this timeout for the injury is taking place. We don't have any other scores to give you at the moment. I'm very interested, though, and there was a ball game between Queen Creek and Northwestern Christian at Higley High School right around the corner here. We don't have any score on that one yet. We just got a score. Queen Creek up 15-3 over Northwest Christian. And that one's being played at Higley, which isn't too far from us. Round Valley up in their ball game 14-0.
Great job at the Elk.
Bowen rolling out, center of the field. He's got a receiver perfectly thrown. And McAfee makes that catch. Another big first down for Ben Franklin.
You know, something interesting is that's right about the spot where Welcome Chapman brought it down earlier. So a little bit of quarterback luck to receiver in this point in the game. But importantly, Ben Franklin driving 1st and 10. A lot of Lobo defense out. They've adjusted to this 5-man front and started throwing it a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what Ben Franklin does to counteract this as they move through the quarter here. We just went under 9 minutes in the quarter, Jimmy, with the Ben Franklin Chargers leading the Lobos leading the Chargers 14-10. I'm sorry about that for the folks back at home.
1st and 10. The handoff will go to Loving on the near side. He'll break a tackle and fight his way down very close to another Charger first down.
You know, they're going to give him a gain of 7 on the play, but I'm going to tell you right now that these Chargers are feeling every hit that these Lobos gave him. We have 21-8 Round Valley, the Elk up on Santa Cruz. I believe don't really know the other scores in the bracket, but we're always kind of pulling for the other White Mountain schools, especially against the opponents from this area. Round Valley doing a fantastic job, and the Lobos looking to be able to play back-to-back and against after them next week. Looks like Snowflake's going to take a timeout, which means we're going to take a timeout. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com. This is Sholo Fort's presentation of White Mountain Football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com. And as we come back to the fourth quarter, we have the Lobos up on the Ben Franklin Chargers 14-10. Just about 8 minutes left in this quarter. Fourth quarter, Jimmy.
Fourth quarter, Jimmy.
Well, you're saying if this band is rocking, don't be knocking. And I'll tell you what, this house is going right now tonight. Both sides of the football, both sides of the gridiron, a heck of a ball game. It's going to be Bone. He keeps it center of the field on a keep, and I believe he's got enough for the first down.
Looks like the lineman spot on the other side, and he is going to have enough for a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. That brings the Chargers close. Jimmy, where do we have him spotted at?
I think they got him at the 17-yard line.
So we still can get a first down here, so it's not quite first and goal, but for our purposes now, the Chargers definitely within 4-down territory because they are one score, but a 2-score field goal game.
Check that. It's the 12-yard line, not the 17. The handoff will go. Bowen keeps it again, and he fights his way down near the 10-yard line and took a real shot, too.
Initially hit by Ruiz in the backfield, and he was able to spin and kind of jive his way for about a 2-yard gain. I'm going to call that a long one, short 2. So we're a 2nd and 7 to 8-ish for those of you math wizards out there. I don't know how many inches
I don't know.
Is.
You're not talking to me, that's for sure.
We're back on.
Okay, cool. Wonderful. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're all back. We're glad you're with us. Jimmy Dragna, Aaron Hessing.
Hewish.
I'm sorry. Hewish. I've got it. I'll start saying the wrong town again. Bowen to throw under pressure. He's got nowhere to go. Running for his life. And he's going to get caught. No, he gets away. At the 10, the 5, inside the 5, and another. They lost the football. And Snowflake has it.
Wow. What a way to switch the field. As he was going in, would have been first and goal on about the 3. They signal it. They gave it to him. We signal it. It's first down for the Lobos, up 14-10 with 6:48 left to go in the fourth quarter. And they're going to flip the field and are going to have every bit of momentum to put them in the driver's seat to win this football game and punch their ticket for a trip to the 3A state championship next week at Campo Verde High School.
Aaron, you talk about turnovers, and boy, that one, the first tonight to benefit Snowflake, and it couldn't have come at a worse time for the Chargers.
No, and it's an interesting catch-22 because they pinned them deep. Lobos are deep in their own territory, but I think they have just enough room. They have those big backs, so I think they're just going to do what they can to run this clock and chunk these yards.
Danner Bowen had a first down, first and goal, and he couldn't hang on to the football. And, of course, who else but Turley with the carry, and not much running room over there.
You know, they have Turley marked for about a 2-yard loss on that play. That's big news at this time. The Chargers may be adjusting. Maybe those Lobos up front are a little tired from flipping that field. They have a few of those young men going both ways. So 2nd and a long 12 for the Lobos.
Aaron, did we ever get the number on who recovered the fumble?
No, never got a number. It was kind of a scrum, and with all the excitement coming up, Lobos got the ball is what's important.
One receiver to the near side. That's Cantrell. And back to throw. Ramage is going that way.
Intercepted.
Oh, my goodness. Ramage pulled the string on that pass. It was intended for Cantrell, and McAfee just stepped in front of it and grabbed it at the 7-yard line.
You talk about emotions, Jimmy, and you talk about one side. This side over here we're sitting on, the Ben Franklin home side, was absolutely silent, almost pin drop status. The Lobos, after that fumble recovery, their crowd was going, and I just saw a momentum shift like I have not seen all year. Wow, what a game we have. First and goal inside.
2 turnovers within 4 plays. First and goal for the Charger offense at the 7. Bowen. No, to Green, and Green takes it in. Loving, check that, Loving.
Jimmy, the interesting thing here, though, is that the Lobos are still going to have the ball in their court as they move down. I think the Chargers made a mistake and left the Lobos too much time. The Lobos with 2 timeouts, basically 6 minutes on the clock. This is going to come down to a Lobo drive and a Lobo score for the victory.
Well,
and I believe I'm a Snowflake homer when I say that, and I'm not proud to admit it.
Well, if I was Coach Solomon, and I don't pretend to be, but well, here we go. Point after, the kick Drilled through on a line drive.
Wow.
Splits the upright.
Missed. They missed.
Oh, he missed it.
They signaled missed. I don't know if it was a mishandled snap or a block. Now, Jimmy, more importantly, that is only a 2-point lead for the Chargers. And
a field goal could win the ball game.
We could see number 4, the sophomore kicker for the Lobos, with a chance to win it. I think Ben Franklin left him too much time. We're going to take a timeout here. This is Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com. Welcome back to Williamsfield High School as the Ben Franklin Chargers tee it up and kick it deep. Turley on the return for the Lobos, takes it to the far side, breaks it, makes some yards. Turley forced out of bounds at about the 35-yard line, Jimmy.
I believe that was Badger that pushed him out of bounds.
Taking over for our good friend Jimmy here, was looking for some notes to give us the quality action you're hearing tonight.
The quality action. You got that right, Aaron. This is a quality ball game, that's for sure.
I don't think we can underestimate to our viewers of home of how the momentum shifted. Now the Lobos got to do everything they can. What I would like to see here is I would like to see the crowd back their teams. It would be interesting both sides here. This side really settled down. I'm not seeing it like it was.
5:48 left in regulation. I mean, we could have a safety.
I
we
know.
could tie the game. The handoff goes to Turley, and he's got a lineman check that. A second effort out towards the far side, but not much running room at all. No gain on the play.
Credit Caleb Lyman for falling forward and getting that hard yard. That might have been about the hardest yard. They flipped the box. That brings us 2nd and 8. I just got a score from a good friend of mine. Round Valley is now up 21-8 entering the 4th quarter. Safe to say, let's go Elk.
2nd and 9 for the Charger. Check that. The Lobo offense. Turley goes the other way. He's got some room on the far side. And he got something out of nothing there, Aaron.
Turley ran to the far side where we're at and then didn't and was able to salvage about a 6-yard, 7-yard gain out of that. Brings the Lobos up into a very manageable 3rd and 4. But again, 2 timeouts. The clock just hit under 5 minutes. Snowflake down 16-14 to the Chargers. I'm having a rough time hearing this Ben Franklin crowd.
It is getting loud here.
And the Snowflake crowd's kind of sitting silent. We got ourselves a ball game here at Williamsfield.
Ramage having a word with Green in the backfield. Now he goes to call the play, and timeout is taken, I believe, by Snowflake.
We are going to leave it right here. I'm going to give a shout out to these fine people that bring us this high school football on these nights. Summit Healthcare, fantastic. The injury report, we've been able to learn a little bit about Jeffries tonight. Ace Hardware, our keys of the game. We appreciate them. Northland Pioneer College with the few kickoffs we've had tonight. The lowest tuition in the state. Kick off your college education with Northland Pioneer College. We have Beeler Orthodontics. And they sponsor our straight line play of the day. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile. Some of us parents very familiar with Dr. Beeler and his amazing staff. Deemer's Glass and all that they do. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports. Great things that they do. Last I heard, I just got an update that Santa Cruz punched it in and Round Valley's up 21-15. Over to you, Jimmy.
3rd down and 4. Turley's got some room. 1st down, Snowflake.
I think Turley's barely smelling the 1st down mark on those chains. The linesman over here on this side signaling 1st down. Again, like to thank all our sponsors tonight. Wow, we might have a different straight line play of the game than we thought. That catch by Welcome Chapman, if the Lobos win, is going to have to be it. And if Ben Franklin's able to pull this out, the interception there is going to have to be it. Our glass-shattering hit of the week is going right now, so we're looking at Welcome Chapman. Go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
4:08 to go here. The handoff goes to Turley. He breaks the tackle, slips it. He's got some room on the far sideline. 40, 35. He's ridden out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. A huge play for Brig Turley and the Lobos.
There is no answer right now by the defensive ends of the Ben Franklin Chargers to contain Brig Turley. Everything the Lobos want to do off tackle, they've been able to do. 26-yard gain for Turley. Right about at the 30, is that the 33-yard line on the far side. 1st and 10, and that brings us a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
And if you're a football fan, and I have to say, I'm a homer myself, ASU ahead of Oregon, the number 6 team in the country. 13-7 Sun Devils, halfway through the third. 16-14 here. The Lobos trying to get ahead with the ball, and it's Green. Fights his way up down to the 26-yard line.
It almost seemed effortlessly that Green pushed his way up for about a 6-yard gain there, and a 2nd and 4, very manageable again. The clock at 3:43 here. Ben Franklin up 16-14. I say the Lobos keep doing what they're doing. Leave no time on the clock for these Chargers.
One receiver to the near side. Ramage's handoff goes to Turley. He's trying to turn the right side corner. He fights his way down inside the 25-yard line to about the 23. And another first down for the Lobos.
That brings us to a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. Turley there. The lineman on this side stopping the clock, moving the chains. Crank back up, 3:22 left. Lobos have the ball, down 16-14, but in very good position here to win this game, either with a stamp and a statement in the end zone or possibly through the uprights.
Aaron, I think they're just going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball.
I absolutely agree with you.
A lot of dose to number 28. Ramage from the shotgun. Green gets to give. He's going to go out the far side and pop it out to the sideline. He gets down inside the 20-yard line.
Still got
about 5.
Still had nowhere to go and still gained 5. No answer at this point on that outside. The Lobos have almost abandoned up the middle run, and that's hurt Ben Franklin because they're stacking that middle box and leaving a whole lot of room to the outside.
Brig Turley and Taryn Green are getting it done. Turley again on the handoff, fights his way down for some more hard yards to about close to the 15-yard line.
2-yard gain, going to be third and a very manageable 4 at this point.
Clock Lobos continuing to run here, 2:19.
Every team has a timeout at this point.
And I think Green is coming to the sideline. He's got a right leg there that looks like it may be injured.
That is not good news. The play clock winding down. We are under 2 minutes here in the game. 15 seconds left on the play clock. I'm not sure who came in to replace Green.
Third
that
down
is Isaac
and
Dally
5.
came in to replace Green.
Number 2. Whoever number 2 is. Turley again up the middle. He's got the first down inside the 10-yard line, down near the 7.
Clock's going to stop momentarily for the Lobos, and they are going to be able to move the chains and be in a driving position to win this football game.
1st and goal for Snowflake.
Well, this is definitely field goal range. Not too much farther than an extra point, something you put in practice every day. 1 minute, 30 seconds left here. Chargers up 16-14 on the Lobos.
Why don't I have number 2 on my list?
Caleb Lyman.
Caleb Lyman to the near side. The handoff will go to Turley. He sips double tackle there, and he couldn't get outside. And who else but from his linebacker spot, Danner Bowen.
Ben Franklin's going to come in and take a timeout, so we are going to take one as well. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass has the most experienced technicians on the mountain. Their lead technicians have a minimum 10 years experience. They're certified.
What did you say? Welcome back to Williams Field High School on Higley Road, South Gilbert, suburb of Phoenix, Arizona. 16-14.
Taryn Green just walked back in the ball game.
Wow.
What a competitor.
Snowflake on the short end of it, 16-14, but they own the ball in the driver's seat. Tarley with the ball. And the handoff, he gets down very close to the 5-yard line. They'll have to unpile the pile of people.
Snowflake still with one timeout. We just ticked under a minute. The play clock is at 30. The game clock is now at 51, Jimmy.
I think
Snowflake enough time for 2 plays here.
I think Coach Solomon figures, what, if I can't punch it in, I'll kick it in. It's an extra point right now.
Well, here it goes. Snowflake Lobos take a timeout with 40.7 seconds left. We're going to keep it right here. Jimmy, what a game we have. No matter who comes out on the end of this.
Oh, it has been a fun ball game to attend.
These boys are going to remember this for a long time. We talked about this before we went on the air, and it's always hard to beat a good team twice. The Lobos came down here in some not really great circumstances. The Mountain boys not used to the 100-degree plus weather. They came down here and I thought played Ben Franklin pretty tough. The game a lot closer than the score indicated. They were forced to do some things that were out of their comfort zone, but then use that as a catalyst to get better and better. Had a little hiccup against Payson, and that might have been the thing that they just said, look, we can do this, we can't do this. We're either going to get better, and they have put themselves in a position, and this is kind of the thing that, as you're a little kid growing up in Snowflake, you start talking to yourself, and you're out in the playground, and, Lobos have the ball, 4th down. So this is a position that these boys in Snowflake, who have grown up together their whole lives, have been ready and been playing for.
40.7 seconds left. 3rd and 10. The Lobo offense. It's going to be Ramage on the keeper. He's got the end zone. Touchdown.
No.
Oh, we got a flag.
They're going to bring that one back.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a play that is.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Ramage was there.
Great play call.
They didn't need to make that flag. That penalty did not need to be committed.
And that is going to be a 10-yard penalty, but it will remain 3rd down. It's okay. Ramage we've got to stay calm. We've got to remember what's going on here. The Ben Franklin telling their
60.
10
yards to spot a foul. Replay the down.
That's field goal range. That is definitely field goal range for the Lobos. We have a Lobo down on the far side, which could be, I believe it's Ramage, the quarterback. That's not a good situation. I don't know if he got hit or something, but he came to the sidelines. However, the Lobos do have a very competent backup who we've called his name tonight a little bit, and that is Caden Cantrell. Neither team has a timeout. Chargers are up 16-14.
I thought it was 3rd and 10.
3rd and goal from, I didn't see where they spotted it.
It is goal, you're right.
I didn't see where they spotted it. It's on the 18-yard line, is according to Mike, our spotter here. And the Ben Franklin student section down to our right is starting to get a little rowdy. I'm looking over at the Snowflake crowd, and there's not many people sitting over there. A lot of great Lobo people, Lobo Nation, out in force, made that drive down and came from here in the valley to watch these Lobos play.
Ball on the near side.
Cantrell is in at quarterback. Number 10, the sophomore.
From the 18-yard line on the near side hash mark. Cantrell will call signals from the gun.
Cantrell, a very competent quarterback.
34.8 seconds left, 3rd and 18. Cantrell back to throw, looking. He's going to put it up.
Falls incomplete.
Incomplete pass.
That brings up the situation we talked about. It's 4th down, 4th and goal. Lobos with the ball.
Do you kick it?
I think the Lobos are going to come out and do game-winning kick here. This is the young sophomore Sam Crockett's going to be on the kick. They've put their faith in him a few times this year, and he has done a great job. Cantrell's going to be in to hold. Crockett's going to be in to kick. Ball is on the near hash.
It'll be a 35-yard attempt. It's on Crockett's foot right now. The kick is up. It is wide.
No good. Oh, Jimmy, that young man, somebody better put their arm around him and thank him. We still have to go through the snaps here. Oh, what a shame for this Lobo Nation. Oh, my goodness. Sam Crockett wide to the left, and you just saw the heads of Lobo Nation fall. Ben Franklin's going to come out and take the victory formation. and take this one to a knee.
You know, I don't know from that angle on that side of the field, but kicking from the near side hash mark, I almost think they would have been better off going for the play instead of kicking it. That's a difficult
Jimmy,
kick.
it's easy to second guess a coach, and I don't want to do that right now. The thing I see is you also have a backup quarterback that we don't take into account.
That's
Your
true.
young sophomore kicker has done well for you.
Right.
He's done well.
I'm just
and
saying.
Ben
though,
Franklin's
it's a
going to put it on the
difficult
ground.
It's a difficult angle, Aaron. It just is.
It is. The clock's going to wind down. No timeouts to stop it. Ben Franklin is going to win the game 16-14 over the Lobos. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want to buy the #1 selling truck in America for over 41 years? Want to buy a vehicle with a lifetime engine warranty?
You're live.
Go ahead.
Welcome back to Williams Field High School in beautiful Gilbert, Arizona. The final score again, 16-10. Ben Franklin wins the second time around.
You know, Jimmy,
against Snowflake.
This is kind of a two-edged sword. I feel like, and I'm gonna kind of go off a little bit here, and I don't think a lot of people want to hear this. These private and charter schools have not been fun for 3A football. The Lobos here, these boys have grown up together. They have been in the system. They have been Lobos and worn the blue and white from day one, and all of, I think, rural 3A, 2A football, we're rooting for them, but at the same time, Ben Franklin making it through kind of puts a point and sticks it because they're probably going to play ALA Queen Creek, and they live within a 5-mile radius of each other and can filter their kids wherever they feel like going. The Lobos can hold their heads high and go back home knowing that they're going and their community, and they made themselves proud tonight, even though they came on the short end. Great season, great job by the players as we move.
I mean, I can't. Are we still?
You're live.
All right, we're going to go ahead and look at our Beeler Orthodontic straight line play of the game. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile. And Jimmy, I would have given it to Welcome Chapman, like I said earlier, on that pass, but I think we got to go with the interception on Ethan Ramage that turned the momentum of this game back to the Chargers.
They had a real tough second half. I mean, they were trailing by 3 at halftime, and like we had both agreed, Aaron, between each other, that this game seemed to still be in control of Snowflake for the taking. And they seemed to take control of it midway through the third and into the fourth, but then that last minute of play was just, you couldn't put it into words. It was just crushing.
So Beeler Orthodontics straight line play of the game is going to be the interception that Ramage throws down deep in the territory. Chanson Loving of the Ben Franklin Chargers, who Chargers score, I think, 1 or 2 plays later and bring us back to a ball game, and that is our Beeler Orthodontics straight line play of the game. Live to smile, love your smile. Now, the Deemer's glass shattering hit of the week. Is there any discussion on that, Jimmy? Or that hit by Welcome Chapman is the one we got to go with?
I think I agree with you 100%.
I'm giving a heads up from Mike here. Welcome Chapman, the senior transfer. Cannot underestimate his contribution for the Lobos this year. That's the tackle that you go through and you hit. And it's just one of the things that you show the kids. It was a clean hit, went right through form, and fantastic. Deemer's Glass. Need glass for your home or business. Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASSMAN. Oh, Jimmy, this one's going to be a hard one. This is the player of the game. And this is brought to you by the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. For the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport south of Pine Top on Highway 260. Now, Jimmy, I'm going to turn this one over to you for the, player of the game doesn't always have to be on the winning team, and I think we're in agreement there. You've got some stat line to run down on who we think's probably our player of the game tonight.
Well, I think it's kind of hard not to give it to Danner Bowen. I mean, he did everything, that he possibly could as an athlete. As more than just a quarterback, he returned kicks. He played defense as a linebacker. You couldn't find, it was hard to not find number 12 around the football on both sides of it.
Right. And do you have a stat line for him?
I've got 13 rushes for 79 yards. He had a kickoff return and also an interception return, which came to over a total of 100 yards. His rushing totals, check that, it was 13 carries for 79 yards. He threw the ball 7 times for 58 yards.
Sorry, Jimmy. One thing, and I love that. Congratulations to him. But before we go, and definitely our honorable mention, we're going to go to the stat line of Brig Turley tonight. Do you have?
Yeah, Turley was really over 125 unofficial yards on 27 carries for Brig Turley. He also, was on the end of a number of receptions. I think I got him down here for 3 catches and 13 yards. All
right, well, we're going to give Danner Bowman our Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Player of the Game, and right now we are going to go down to Ron, who is live with Coach Kay Solomon of the Snowflake Lobos. Ron?
Coach Solomon, a real heartbreaker.
Yeah, definitely.
And but a great season. And so why don't you talk a little bit about just what the season has meant to you and to your kids before we get into some of the details of this game.
Well, we told them before we played the game tonight, and we knew we were coming to play a tough football game, but we love them. We appreciate all that they've done all through the year. We don't coach this game. I mean, we love football. Football is an awesome game, but we coach it because of the life lessons that we learn from it. And this is a hard one to learn. But I told the boys out there at the end after we were done that sometimes you do, even though you're doing all you can and all you need to do, some things just don't go your way, and in the end you don't quite get what you deserve. But they're better for being a part of it and for being a part of this game tonight. The sun will come up tomorrow morning, and even those seniors who are done playing football, this will be a building block for them as they move on in their lives. So we appreciate them, we love them. These boys have worked. We've worked longer as a team this year than any other season in the past. We started with team workouts in February and working hard in the weight room and starting to put things together. And I'm just proud. They've always done what we've asked of them, and we even when we turn up the heat a little bit and work even harder and ask even more of them, they've delivered. And so we're proud of them and everything that they've done this year.
Even as we're talking, I hear coaches just exchanging a lot of I love yous, and that's kind of the sentiment that we feel from this team. Let's talk about the game just a little bit. The whole second half, it felt like you guys had the momentum, and it just came down to a few penalties and a few close calls.
Yeah, turn Ron down some more.
What do you have to say about the second half?
Well, it was a great half of football, and you're right. I mean, we did have good momentum, but we didn't capitalize and put more points on the board. And even though we were taking them deep into their the downs on every drive, getting third, fourth down, but still able to convert and stay on the field with their offense, which we were feeling good about our offense on the field, but we weren't quite able to get them off the field as fast as we wanted to. But great job by Coach Hargrove and Coach Reddick and game planning and we just had to execute just a little bit better on a play or two, and it would have been the difference in the game. And the penalty, that's a costly killer penalty to have on a play like that at the end of a game. But we'll go back and look at it and see what we think. So.
Talk about the attempt for field goal. Any second thoughts on that, or did you know once you got into a certain point you were going to attempt the field goal?
Yeah, we knew that was definitely an option for us. We were in field goal range, and you see Samuel booming PATs, and he just caught that one bad, unfortunately, and I feel bad for him too. But you know what? He's a great young kicker, and he's made huge strides this year. And we look forward to another 2 years of having him kick for us.
Well, Coach, you run an amazing program. I've had a pleasure of covering you guys on the sidelines, so congratulations, as tough as this one is, on a good season, and thanks for all the great times.
You guys covering us. Thank you.
So that's going to be it. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Ron, for that reporting. Tough way to lose a game. I don't even know what to say. Jimmy, we just said, I think we exchanged the word heartbreak about 6 times there.
Well, and you have to love Coach Solomon. I mean, he says it, he just encapsulates it. I mean, the sun will come up tomorrow. This is a family, this is a school, it's a close-knit town. Sometimes you win and sometimes you just don't. Unfortunately, it wasn't the kind of script you wanted to see happen tonight. You feel bad for these kids, the seniors especially. They played their tails off. Like we both agreed, we felt they had this game in the bag. We felt that they were in control, and they were. Sometimes football can be a funny game. You can make a decision, or you can make Ramage was in the end zone, for God's sakes. That block, the flag was thrown, but it was like anticlimactic because Ramage was in. And the block didn't even have to be made, but it was just one of those things where a mistake, one play, one call can change the entire outcome. And the victors become the losers and the losers become the victors, and that's a hard thing to watch, but it's why we play these games.
As Snowflake moves on, or as Snowflake gets on and starts preparing tomorrow for 2020, they're going to sit and they're going to mull over that and use that as a catalyst for next year. While Ben Franklin, they've forgotten about that and they're in the championship game. It's interesting how the momentum even works after the game's over. Real quick before we sign off, got an update. Looks like the Round Valley Elks are going to punch their ticket. I've got them up 33-15 with, at that point, 2:57 left. We got to think that one's getting close to over. Appreciate all the technical people tonight. Ron down on the field, Katrina on technical, our producer, Mike, our spotter, Jimmy, our play-by-play, myself, Aaron. We're going to probably see you from Campo Verde High School next week for the Round Valley Elk to take on the Phoenix Christian Cougars. Jimmy, any last words?
I forgot to mention Ashley Raven, who does a fine job with the Palm Squad here. I talked to her before the game, and the girls, they were just as hardworking as the players on the field.
They absolutely are. Well, from Williamsfield High School tonight, final score, Ben Franklin Chargers 16, Snowflake Lobos 14. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com. Yeah, they won. I got it.